Okay, this video is going to show you how to use Final Cut Pro. This will be one of two videos. This video will show you the basics and then we'll get into some more of the advanced features in the next video. The best way to show you is just to get started. So what we're going to do is import some video. Obviously we need video in order to cut it up and edit it. What you can see here is the last project that I was working on, but this space here is the video library where you'll see all your clips that are available for editing. So if we just go File, New, and create an event, the event is the film that you've shot that you can then edit. And we'll just give our event a name and we'll call it film. Click OK. Alright, and it'll give you the option to import some media here. So you can just click on that button there and this will bring up the media import window. I've got my media stored on a folder on the desktop. Here's raw folder, and I can just go and click import selected, add to the event that I've just created, and click import. Alright, and that'll import some footage that I've got there. Okay. If you have shot straight into an SD card and you plugged your SD card into the computer, Final Cut can upload the footage straight from that SD card, so it makes life a little bit easier. I think it's good to have your footage backed up to the computer itself. Okay, so there is our footage ready for editing. Okay, we want to create a new project. Again, this is the last project that I was working on. So if we go File, New, Project, and we can call it Film and make sure that we're in the right event. Okay, we've got the right footage to edit. And we can click OK. Alright, you can see this project will be represented up here. This is the editing project that you'll be working on at any given time. Okay, so down the bottom here, this space is what we call the timeline, and this is where we're going to do all of our editing. Up the top here, like I mentioned before, is the library, and over on the right hand side here we have the viewer window or the browser, and if you want to have a look at any of the footage that you have imported, you can click on it over here in the library and play it in the browser. Okay, we want to take that footage, raw footage, and we want to bring it down to the timeline so we can do some editing. So there's a couple of ways I can do this. I can grab the whole clip for editing, and it'll be represented by that yellow line there. Or if I grab a clip and drag it, it'll just select one part of the clip for editing. Let's go ahead and grab this whole clip and drag it down to the timeline. And there you can see it down there. You'll also be able to see it up in the viewer window, and again if I click the play button, you'll be able to see it playing and you'll notice the playhead moving along. Okay, that clip down there is represented quite small. It's only a few seconds of footage, but if we wanted to zoom in, if we wanted to expand that along the timeline, we can go down the bottom to the little magnifier down here and we can drag that along. Alright, make it bigger or smaller. Okay, what you'll notice here on the timeline is the footage. Okay, you can see the little window indicating what the footage is of at any given moment. What you'll also see attached to it down the bottom here is the audio. There's not a lot of audio in the clip that I've just imported, but you can just see that audio represented as a little zigzaggy blue line down the bottom there. If I wanted to adjust the volume, if I wanted to increase it, or if I wanted to get rid of it altogether, I can grab this, run the cursor over this black line here, and that's the volume level, and I can drag that up and down, make it louder or softer as I see fit. You'll see there I've cranked it right up, so if I play it, that background noise becomes quite loud. We might just get rid of that altogether. Okay, now we want to start editing. I might just zoom out a little bit there. Let's grab another clip. We want to grab the whole thing and drag that down next to it. Okay, so now we've got two clips side by side. Okay, again, we might get rid of the audio on that one. Okay, if we wanted to cut some, so this zoom down the corridor that I've got here, say it goes a little bit too long, and I want to chop that up, what I'm going to do here is go to this toolbar. You can see this drop down toolbar has a range of tools to use. The main ones that we're going to use are the select tool and the blade tool. Okay, the blade tool is obviously for cutting. The select tool is obviously for highlighting sections of your film. What you'll also notice is these numbers, letters next to it rather, and they represent the keyboard shortcuts for those tools, and they're a very, very handy thing to remember. So if you remember that select is A and blade is B, if you get in the habit of using those tools, it's going to make editing a lot easier. So if I move the playhead over the part where I want to cut it, hit B on the keyboard to get that blade tool, and you can see the cursor turns to a little razor blade, and then where I click on the clip, it'll cut it. Alright, you can see it's represented by that jagged line there. Okay. If I then hit A on the keyboard to take it back to the select tool, I can then select either parts of those clips, and if I wanted to get rid of the first part of that clip, I can just hit delete and that clip is gone. Okay, so that's some basic editing. What we can also do is add a transition. Okay, if we wanted to dissolve these two shots together, or if we wanted them to fade to black and from black, what we want to do is go over here to the transitions tool, and you'll get a selection of different transitions to use. So if I want to cross dissolve these two shots together, I can select that. I can drag it in between those two clips there, and it will create a transition. Okay. So if you play that, you'll see that those two clips dissolve together. If I wanted to extend that cross dissolve, if I wanted to make it larger, unfortunately, because I've added it at the very end and the very start of a clip, I haven't given Final Cut much room to manipulate that. So what I can do is double click on that, and this will open the fine-tune editing function of Final Cut. This will allow me to drag the clips along a little bit and give that dissolve a lot more space to work with. Alright, and I can drag that out and make it longer. And then when we play that dissolve back again, you'll see that it starts a lot earlier and it takes a lot longer to get through. Okay, so that's the basics of Final Cut, and we'll leave it there. And if you want to know how to add text, music and effects, then check out part 2 of this video.